companies really hacking your mind and changing your preferences? You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. You already know that advertising is a huge industry. Each year, companies spend billions of dollars trying to sell you basic commodities such as food, medicine, and shelter, along with unnecessary luxuries like expensive cars, foreign vacations, and increasingly convenient appliances. And, to a degree, this works. Imagine the most popular, familiar brands in your life. You're not just thinking of a logo and its colors. Your brain is firing dozens of associations simultaneously: taste, sounds, textures, and, most importantly, emotions. If you're like most people, you probably pride yourself on your ability to differentiate between what you want and what you need. You're a reasonable person, capable of avoiding impulse buys and forming your own opinions. And although corporations and ad firms across the globe try to convince you that product A really is better than product B, they can't hack your mind and change it without your consent, right? Here's where it gets crazy. Enter the controversial world of neuromarketing. Neuromarketers like Sands Research and Neurons Inc. use measurements of brain activity derived from EEGs, MRIs, and so on to quantify the perceptions of consumers. This research has been applied to everything from new automobiles to the redesign of soup labels. Experts disagree on who first began successfully measuring consumer brains this way, but the two oldest pioneers of the field are generally acknowledged to be David Lewis and Gerald Zaltman. The crux of the argument is this: that rather than arriving at conscious, deliberate decisions, most of what you mistake for conscious thought is instead the result of subconscious processes, many of which can be subtly nudged one way or the other without your knowledge. There are several common techniques used in neuromarketing. Facial coding will, according to their theories, show minute, unconscious emotional expressions. Eye tracking will determine what a customer sees first and when. Voice analysis allows researchers to measure the tone and pitch of voice. They also often measure heart rate and other nervous system indicators. By interpreting this data, applied neuromarketers claim that they can more effectively target consumers. In a 2013 TEDx talk, neuromarketer Patrick Renbois argues that he and his colleagues are also tapping into what's known as the reptilian brain, an older area of the brain containing the amygdala, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. This area reacts quickly to visual stimuli, and Renbois argues that there are several fundamental rules of perception at play here. Messages enabling self-centeredness, that is, focusing on you more than the product, seem more effective, as do ads showcasing contrast and visually or tangibly demonstrating a value proposition. Advocates of neuromarketing believe that these techniques can be effective outside of the mall and the grocery store. For the most optimistic, these techniques can be used to strengthen educational processes, reduce speeding deaths, and so on. More cynical observers, of course, might note that altruism rarely guides marketing decisions, and this all depends on whether neuromarketing actually works. Is there really a consistent way to program someone to buy something? Not everyone is convinced. As journalist Matt Wall notes in an article for Slate, neuromarketers often keep their algorithms secret. The data derived from low-end EEGs can be notoriously poor, and there are serious questions about the quality of the neuromarketers' analyses. If this does work, then once it's coupled with predictive data, the nature of advertising will fundamentally change, and it could be the most profound marketing evolution since the days of Edward Bernays. Whether it turns out to be empty hype or a commercial revolution, many neuromarketers keep their techniques as trade secrets, making it literally the stuff they don't want you to know.
The publisher's responsibility is to keep his entire newspaper fair as well as forceful, interesting, educational, and helpful to its readers. He must expose wrong and endlessly fight the abuse of power in whatever high or low place it lurks.